I want to talk to you about 5 ways you are losing money in Google Ads without even knowing it. The thing is, when you think about Google Ads, you are thinking about a fantastic platform. But if you don't have the right controls, if you don't have the right setup, you could be losing money big time. Okay, so here's a prologue to this conversation. You need to understand that I'm not saying that Google Ads are a bad platform to be on. They are like the platform is a fantastic platform. Google Ads remain a fantastic way to get in front of your target audience when they are in their moment of need. Okay, so that's actually a fantastic way to add value, to amplify your message, to boost your brand, and so on and so forth, to generate revenue, to potentially get qualified leads. Okay, there are actually on Google Ads tons of controls you can use to customize your efforts. But even for some seasoned marketers, some seasoned advertisers, some seasoned entrepreneurs, actually, there are plenty of other ways you could be inadvertently spending your ad dollars in ways that are actually not profitable. So the whole idea into this conversation is to make sure that you are actually putting an extra layer of efficiency into your ad dollar spent, into your ad spend. Okay, there are a handful of practically silent budget thieves within the Google Ads system that you might not even be aware of. So in this video, I want to walk you through the most common areas where I see advertisers, where I see marketers, where I see entrepreneurs losing money in Google Ads. So you can, in the end, trim the fat and focus your budget on the users that really matter. Again, I want to insist the users that really matter. So I'm speaking about qualified leads because not all users, quote unquote, really matter. Some users are important, but if they don't convert, if they don't really help you, or if they don't help you get to your goal, they don't really matter to that specific goal. Okay, so this is important. One thing I want to say also is that Google Ads actually is a platform that constantly changes. So it's up to you to keep familiarizing yourself with new features, new capabilities introduced by Google. Okay, if you want to really get the best out of the platform. The first way you could be losing money in Google Ads is by accidentally opting into the Google Display Network, the GDN. So whenever you run a Google Ads search campaign, your ads are eligible to show when anybody searches for anything on Google. But in addition to that, there are actually two other networks that your ads have the potential to show on. So depending on the industry you are in and the keywords that you are using, those networks can be very low performing and high cost. Okay, and one of those low performing and high cost networks is Google Display Network, the GDN. So whenever you set up a Google Ads campaign, you actually have the opportunity to opt into the GDN in the campaign settings. And so Google checks this box by default, meaning what? Meaning that your ads will show on placements across the Google Display Network that are relevant to your keywords. You can see this on the screen here. The setup is automatic. Okay, so in 99 out of 100 cases, the performance I see when a search campaign is opted into the display network is pretty terrible. Okay, now don't get me wrong, there may be some accounts out there where this option works well, but it's a categorical no from me. Okay, so if you are interested in running your ads, say on the Google Display Network, there are plenty of other ways that you can incorporate that into your account strategy that will actually give you way more control and better performance than actually having it as an addition to a search campaign. Believe me, okay? And you will be saving a lot of cash, okay? So right now, I want you to go ahead and turn this off. Save your money and get better performance elsewhere. And I want you to do this in all accounts that you have, all accounts that are associated with your Google Ads. I mean, in other words, if you have several campaigns happening right now, make sure that that box is checked off. Okay, that box is checked off, and you'll be saving a lot of cash. So do not really opt in the display network. Next is actually not checking performance on the search partner network. If you remember, basically, in the earlier screenshot that I showed you, you had search network and you had display network, right? Now let's talk about the search partner network. So the second accessible network through Google search is the search partner network. Now, unlike Google Display, the search partner network is one that can work really well, but not for everybody. I mean, it can work really well for some industries and campaigns, but it's not a good fit for others. It really depends on the type of strategy you have in place, okay? So, like the display network, the search partner network will actually be checked automatically in your campaign setting for any new campaign you build on Google Ads, okay? And this is done automatically. There's nothing you can do about it. It's up to you to actually control whether it's on or off. So for almost every new campaign that my team and I build, we leave a search partners enabled and let the performance tell us whether it's a good fit for the account that we are, the account that we are monitoring. So one of our campaigns have been running for a while. So once that happens, we have enough data, right? For instance, I will go to the campaigns tab, click on segment, then select network from the drop down. And as you can see on the screenshot right now, this allows you to see the performance of the campaigns broken out by Google search and the search network. So depending on the performance that you see there, you can either leave your campaign opted into the search partner network or head back into the campaign setting and turn it off. It really depends. Okay, so again, you can see this on the screen here. So the one thing I want to say is that this change is not going to do miracle. Okay, this change is not something that I typically or my team typically makes bluntly to all campaigns. This is a case by case basis. This is a campaign by campaign basis. So it's very common, for instance, for one campaign or a handful of campaigns to perform well on the search partner network, while let's say other campaigns in that same account perform terribly, okay, on the search partner network. So it really depends. It really depends on the niche you're in, but also on the campaign that you're looking at. Also, another way you are losing money in Google Ads is actually by ignoring device performance. Okay, so although basically most companies focus on let's say landing pages and user experiences on mobile devices, that doesn't mean that some categories and devices don't perform drastically worse than others. Okay, so if you were to review your account, you want to look if you are looking for a wasted ad spend. One place you want to you want to look at is actually inefficient ad spend, especially on different device categories. So to review your device performance with the most granularity, you want to head to the when and where ads showed report, then click devices in the upper menu. So you can see on the screen, this is how it looks like, okay? And in some instances, mobile devices don't convert actually as well as desktop devices. It really depends on your target audience. Like the way Gen Z uses mobile devices, and it's not the same way seniors, for instance, or young adults use the devices. So what will happen here is that you could have, for instance, tablets having lots of search volume but no conversions associated with them. And in some cases, in accounts that are focused on driving phone calls, for instance, you may find that mobile performance looks really good, but sometimes desktop or computer performance is lacking. So it really depends. So depending also on the bid strategy that you are actually using in your search campaign, you may have the opportunity to optimize your campaign to get performance out of those device categories, especially when it comes to a scalability point of view. Okay. So if you are using manual bidding or target CPA, for instance, You can set different goals or bid modifiers based on each device category. Now, if you are using other bid strategies like maximize conversion or maximize conversion value, you do have the ability to turn off a device category by adding a 100% bid modifier to it. But you'll not be able to keep volume coming through that device category with an augmentative goal. So it really depends too, okay? So in that scenario, you need to decide if the performance for that device category is actually so bad that you would rather not have any traffic coming from it, or if you need to make some changes to your campaign settings to be able to see incrementally better performance from those devices. Also, another way you are losing money in Google Ads is actually by bidding on low volume, no conversion keywords. Okay. Now, those low volume, no conversion keywords are everywhere. It's up to you to spot them. It's up to you to identify them. It's up to you to shy away from them, so to speak. Okay. So one area of common wasted spend in Google Ads that goes virtually unnoticed comes from keywords that don't make big enough waves to be regularly reviewed. Okay. I mean, basically, you might review them keywords once a week, twice a week, or once every other week, or once a month. But what about 6 months? What about 9 months? What about 1 year? Okay. More often than not, what happens here is that account managers will review keyword performance for the most recent week, 2 week, month, or maybe even 2 month period of time, but they never look beyond that. So if you have, let's say, if you happen to have keywords that only spend a couple of dollars a day or a week, especially if you have a larger budget, you may not notice those keywords spend building up over time. So on occasion, it's important to review keywords for longer time frames than only the recent 1 or 2 months. So looking back at the last quarter, last 6 months, or even last year's worth of data can actually reveal any number of keywords that have been slowly spending little by little, adding up to a much higher amount without much oversight, and actually nothing in return. So this is something to really think about. So make sure that you do not bid too much on low volume, no conversion keywords. Otherwise, that's your money. That's your money being wasted big time. Another way you are losing money in Google Ads is by not taking advantage of negative keywords. Okay, and let me explain. So negative keywords prevent your ads from showing somebody's searches for a certain keyword or phrase in their search query. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, this can be applied to individual ad groups, campaigns, or to the account level. So it's if you want to learn about the negative keywords in Google Ads, I actually have an entire video on the topic. Okay, so for now, I just want to focus on the why. Unfortunately, over the last few years, especially before COVID, or let's say during COVID, Google has Google actually sorry about that. Google has expanded how match type works, and they now match to increasingly more queries than they used to. So exact is no longer exact. Phrase is no longer phrase, and broad, well, don't even get me started on broad. Okay, so this is something to really think about. So without negative keywords, you are missing an opportunity to refine the search queries your ads show for. So while your keywords actually might technically fit a query, negative keywords let you filter out those that are not a good fit for your business. So this is something to really think about, especially if you are worried about discoverability. Okay. So if you are running, you can see on the screen here the negative keyword match type. Okay. So the negative broad match, the negative phrase match, and the negative exact match. I'm just showing this to you on the screen for context purposes. So if you happen to be running ads on the Google Search Network, for example, it's a imperative, okay, that you review your search query report relatively frequently to make sure that you're not advertising for completely irrelevant terms. And the search term reports lives in the insight and reporting section on the search terms. Okay, and so this is actually a report you want to really review regularly and adjust so you can adjust your data sets. So this is really important. Also, it's extremely easy to add negative keywords to help block their irrelevant queries directly from this report. Okay, so simply check the box next to the search term that you want to exclude. You want to click add as a negative keyword in the blue bar at the top. Then set the keyword as at either the ad group campaign or negative keyword list level that makes sense for your account. It has to make sense for your account because every account is different. Every campaign is different. Okay, so this is something to really think about. So personally, I like to take this process one step further, especially if you want to really make sure that you have consistency across the board. So what you want to do is that every couple of months or every quarter, you can run what's called n-gram analysis of your account. So an n-gram analysis allows you to see how individual words or short phrases perform in your search queries without having to review different lines of data. Okay, so that gives you some kind of context, some kind of what I call background story. Let me give you an example. For example, if you want to know how all queries containing the word free perform in your account, you can actually use an n-gram analysis and review performance for the single word phone and compare that to your account performance, okay, goal. And so based on what you find, you can either add phone as a negative keyword, okay, or take no action, or add keywords to your account that contain phone. And if it really performs better than your account performance goal, then you have data, like you have something to chew on, really. So the same process can be done with 2 word, 3 word, or longer phrases, depending on what you're trying to learn about your search query. Okay, to learn about the to learn the process for running an n-gram analysis, you can actually let me know in the comment section, and I'll certainly get back to you because every n-gram analysis is different. I have a few questions, a few extra questions to ask before giving more details about an n-gram analysis. I'm actually working on a full video to really support to really help marketers, advertisers to learn to help entrepreneurs understand n-gram analysis actually at a deeper level. Okay, but bottom line here is that you do not want to waste precious spend in Google Ads. Okay, so you have to understand that a lot of times it's all about being familiar with the platform you are using. So, as an epilogue into this conversation, I spoke to you about 5 ways you are losing money in Google Ads. I'll give you the prologue and now the epilogue. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.